Follow me. We shall crush them beneath us.
No intro, folks. I'm gonna get straight into it. Looks like South of Midnight just upgraded, double it from previously. And by the time it's released, it's probably gonna be 1000% cooked.
But anyhow, let's have a talk about South of Midnight and their preliminary Steam numbers. As you can see here, the modern audience has once again abandoned the hell out of a game that was made for them. They talk constantly about how games like this are the future and all of that, but holy shit, this game has not connected with gamers at all. Yesterday, they capped out at just under 500 players. Now, keep in mind that the weekend is coming up, and typically we see larger numbers on the weekend, and also, this number that we're seeing here represents only the people who paid for the early access to the game. So, the player count is gonna go up, but I highly doubt it will rise by anything significant enough for us to call it anything but a massive flop.
Oh, and keep in mind, this game is also on Game Pass, so it's probably double that number. And how many days left until it's released? Well, by the time this upload, it's probably 3 days, maybe 48 hours or so, something like that. It's a rough start. I'm probably certain it's gonna be similar with Assassin's Creed Shadows and Dragon Age Veilguard. Return to form, return to form. IGN gave this game an 8 out of 10. But not only that, we haven't heard anything from Compulsion Gaming or Compulsion Games. I mean, they haven't heard anything, or perhaps, or even better, a community manager. It was silence. I haven't heard anything.
Chances are it will end up surpassing the likes of Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, which was another Sweet Baby Inc. title. As you can see here, Flintlock, at its peak, couldn't hit 700 players. Based on what we're seeing with South of Midnight, this game will easily pass that. When Flintlock was first released, it couldn't quite make it into the top 500 of the top sellers list on Steam, whereas South of Midnight is currently sitting at number 67. So, based on these numbers and what we've seen before, most likely South of Midnight will break 1,000 concurrent players on Steam. Hell, it might even break 2,000, but obviously that is nothing to write home about. In any event, I have got a couple of clips that have been circulating on social media which I want to show you because they showcase exactly why a lot of us aren't excited for this sort of game. It's just the same slop that we've seen a million times over these past few years. The dialogue in this first clip is being compared to Forspoken. I'll let you see the clips from both games though, so you can roll your eyes accordingly at the absolutely dreadful writing from this new generation of writers.
If it's similar to Forspoken, oh, that's not a good sign, folks. Honestly, I would pick it up, but frankly, let's just say I'm trying to save as much space as I can for Stellar Blade, and most importantly, that is coming up next month is Lost Soul Aside. I'm going to be saving those. So I had to ask, to all those people who have early access to this game, what were your experience playing South of Midnight? Were it any good? Were there any bugs, glitches, or any crashes? Let me know in the comments.
Without these hoods.
Did I just do that?
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved shit with my mind.
Perhaps our connection has somehow awoken some abilities.
I just moved shit with my mind.
I just keep hearing I.
I just moved shit with my freaking mind!
Black girl magic!
Yeah, it's pretty cringy, isn't it? Forspoken flopped like a fish for a reason, but apparently South of Midnight thought they'd write a pretty similar character for whatever damn reason. It must be because gamers identify with this sort of character so well. It must be because the male gaming audience, which is of course the vast majority of gamers, obviously loves this sort of sassy feminine energy in the characters that we play as.
I think that is true. I believe Forspoken is probably an eye-opening when it comes to Western video games. Even though it did not kick off Gamergate or the decline of Western AAA games, because I know some games that did kick off Gamergate 1 at least, but when it comes to the decline of Western AAA games, it's either Forspoken or Marvel's Avengers. One of those two that start the decline of Western AAA games, aka the big budget one. Not the indie, okay? If this is gonna be like Forspoken, it can either be similar player count. We all know this is on Game Pass, so where we heard from that? I think Flintlock's Siege of Dawn is on Game Pass. No, I know Unknown 9 is not. That's for sure. I had to recheck these things, folks.
If you can't sense my extreme sarcasm, then you also might want to consider getting yourself checked out because your empathy ain't working at all. But this next clip is from Hypnotic as he plays the game. It's really funny to listen to him mock it.
Remember, when people say, before I let this continue, when people say those people who complain or grifting don't play games, well, you want proof that grifters play games? Here it is, folks. Observe.
A friend offered us sick pass.
Go, Harriet Tubman. Do the Assassin's Creed move. Yeah! No way, bro! No way they got Harriet Tubman doing the fucking wall crawl.
Bruh.
There ain't no way, bro. Oh my god, dude. This is great. This is great. Harriet Tubman. Yo. Harriet Tubman. Hey, maybe she was an assassin spy, you know, like they said in that what video game she was in. Bro, that was amazing. That was amazing. And she's doing it on blankets too. These are blankets. These are soft ass blankets that she's running on like it's a wall, bro.
The gameplay in South of Midnight looks positively dreadful. It certainly isn't enough to inspire anyone into playing this turd. Just about the only people who would want to are the ones who make it their life's mission to own the chuds. Granted, there are people out there who like the Southern Gothic aesthetic, and I totally get that. There might even be people who like the stop-motion animation style, though I've heard way more people complain about that shit. But overall, I think the bulk of people who play this game will be the sort who play it as a political virtue signal, the sort who would play it no matter how bland and terrible it ended up being.
I'll leave the full video link in the description. Do you guys remember this word? There are more of us. Star Wars Acolyte. You wanna know what happened to that? Kaput, finito, dunzo. I mean, what else I could give you an example? Seriously, I mean, you say grifters don't play games or don't do anything? Here's proof. Hey, Endymion even goes outside, even exercise a lot. I go outside most of the time. What, you think I spend all day playing video games? I also have a normal job. I would say this, when it comes to this, I could pick it up either on the console version or perhaps the PC version. Before I get to that, I need to ask all of you, name one game that you have experienced stop motion, or perhaps in this case, I would say if you do have South at Midnight in early access, tell me something. What was your experience on stop motion? Were there any lags, bugs, glitches, or anything if you have early access to this? If so, let me know in the comments. I'm not a fan of stop motion, to be honest, because based on this, I don't know. But then again, I prefer fast pace, and all the games that I played, most of the time I say this, is not stop motion, it's fast paced. I'm just used to it, and I don't think stop motion for this is my cup of tea. With just 72 hours left, or 3 days in this case, until South of Midnight is released, you ask yourself this: if this is a good game that people love, or perhaps people are waiting for and loved, why is it that the community manager attacked gamers for a slight bit of criticism? And most importantly, why did they lock down the Steam forum? Seriously, if your game is good, doesn't have anything that most grifters say, like woke, why do you attack gamers? Where did we heard from this? Oh yeah, Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler attacked the fans, she couldn't keep her mouth shut, and guess what happens? Snow White bombed kaput finito, and she has no one else to blame but herself. And trust me, ooh, it's a nuclear level, because Rachel Zegler just alienated, I think Rachel Zegler alienated all of America. Not just conservative, but all of them. Even critics hate her. I know it's not relevant, but I had to put it in. First sign that the game will flop is that when you attack gamers, saying that they're racist, homophobe, transphobe, or even better, you block people that you have never interacted with. Tell me something to all my viewers. Have you ever met people on Twitter, or perhaps you heard this person? You know what, let me rephrase my question. Have you ever seen people that you never, ever interact with, and suddenly they block you? Have you ever seen that? Because remember, people block someone without even interacting. There is some meaning within it. It does not happen naturally, okay? I can list any examples, but it will be too long. The dialogue, if it's similar to Forspoken, yeah, that's not looking good. Forspoken really tanked a whole company, and most importantly, it shut down a studio. I'm gonna have to say this, if it is similar, which I don't think it is, they will say this, it will be return to form, return to form. Metacritic score is probably higher since IGN gave this game an 8 out of 10, and the user score is probably in the yellow or the red, either 3.9 or 5. But then again, nobody trusts journalists, and they will keep on shilling for this game until when the studio announced layoff, well, those shilling stops. They'll shut up. Seriously, you keep on saying people grift on this, that people who grift doesn't play games, but what about those clips that I showed you? Does that look like real gameplay? There's no such thing as the modern audience. The player count proves of it.
You were most impressive. Surely your military skills will help guide us on the path to victory. I look forward to your continued efforts.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detected, or you just want to see me play games, or perhaps you like trending topics. You can visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.